Welcome back to another week around the trash fire. Your host, Matthias, along with the boy.
John.
Not too much, you know. I think they blew their load with Gen Con here.
Yeah, a lot of pretty light week in terms of news, but I mean Gen Con was pretty big, so
It is. I mean, there's probably like tons of other stuff we could have talked about in Gen Con
right.
to probably fill up this episode, but that's okay. We can talk about what's coming up for pre-order this week
Yes, we can.
for the Sunday preview. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forgot about this game even existed.
Yeah, Aeronautica Imperialis.
I remember, God, when did they reveal this?
Oh, it was like a year ago almost. It was a long time ago. Long time ago.
Because I remember they were like, "Yeah, here you guys go, your plastic Thunderhawk, just not in just not what you guys really wanted."
Yeah, and it's not even in this week, right?
Well, pre-order this week
Is it? I don't see it in the thing.
in the Sunday preview.
The Thunderhawk. Yeah, it's not here.
Oh,
Just the other
yeah,
stuff.
isn't that it? Isn't not the Thunderhawk? Am I wrong? Am I getting it
No,
confused?
those are the Storm Eagles, the
Oh,
baby transports.
oh damn. Shows how much I know because no one runs any flyers anymore in 40K. So,
Right.
but yeah, I think I played this game once. I mean, it was okay. It's not a bad game.
Yeah, I mean, this game is, in my opinion, pretty good at what it's trying to do, which is to do an aircraft game set in Warhammer. And it does it pretty well. I mean, I prefer X-Wing because I think X-Wing is just a better game than most, like air combat games out there. I think X-Wing is the best air combat game out there.
Hmm.
So I don't, but this game isn't trying to be X-Wing, it's just trying to, again,
It's trying to
simulate.
be Wings of War. That's what it's trying to be.
Gosh.
If you've
Um,
ever played that game.
I have heard of that, but I have not played it.
Hmm. Yeah, it's just like World War I planes fight doing dogfights pretty much, you know.
Right. So I mean, this game, has it. I'm fine with it existing. Like, I think it's cool that it exists. I have a squadron of Imperial stuff, of Imperial Guards or Imperial Navy stuff. Excuse me. So yeah, I mean, it's cute. It's good that this exists. It's one more step to Epic. You know. Also, it's kind of neat for the 30K community because these you could do like Horus Heresy games by just playing with Space Marines, and I've already seen some people trying to do some integration into like campaigns or mega battles where you have a sideboard of Aeronautica. If you just do Space Marines versus Space Marines, so I might get some stuff just for that, just so I could have like a Space Marine, a 30K squadron in case I go to an event and they have this kind of stuff.
They're
But
playing their 30K epic.
yes, exactly.
You know what
Uh,
this tells me?
what's up?
It tells me that GW is trying to get out of the model industry and just go to board games. That's what it's trying to
That's
tell me.
true. That's very true. With Monopoly and Munchkin, yep. Here's the end of Warhammer, guys.
But yeah, we got that finally making its debut after so long. Got some cards, got some dice, got a battlefield mat. So it's pretty much just all.
These are actually really good dice, in my opinion. Too bad you only get like 7 or 8 of them.
Yeah, I would agree with you. These are compared to what we've been getting. These are pretty nice dice.
Yep.
Uh, board, some turrets. Now
Yeah.
I've never,
The old ones.
like I said, I've only played one game. Are there actual like anti-aircraft in this game?
Yeah, it's for some missions. They have like anti-aircraft stuff. So
Hmm. Okay.
it's there.
Didn't know that. Necromunda. We got some Vansar bits,
Very interesting. Very interesting.
which, if I recall the picture, this is the last thing of Necromunda that we're getting. That's probably not, like a bounty hunter, special character kind of deal.
Yeah, I think there may be a Cotter one, but after that, it's kind of it. So,
Well, I'm just going off that one image that we saw a couple weeks ago
oh right, right. In terms of
of the
the
big releases.
yeah, that's right.
So, if I recall, it was just like some bits. So here we are. Here's the bits, and that should be it for Necromunda for the rest of this year.
Mhm.
Until I guess the Outlaws come out, but I don't know if that's gonna be this
Yeah,
year.
the Outlaw Gang. Yeah,
The Nurgle plush finally here.
how random. How random. Not mad that it exists, but it is very random.
It's Nurgle, you know. It's probably the easiest thing to make cute. So,
And it's still iconic.
and since GW is moving out of the model industry, this is start making out those little toys.
The future, right?
It's the future. And then you got Warhammer Plus. So
Guys,
it's been like what 3 weeks since this has been out.
it's been a month already, I think. Warhammer Plus.
So let's get your insight. How is it? How you liking it?
I mean, I haven't really been watching it, but I'm not mad that I got it. Um, Again, it's one of those things like cool,
How is
I
the lore
I,
master? Give
I
us a
actually
quick review on some of this stuff.
I actually watched. I was hanging out with we talk more in the hobby section, but I had a hobby day with a friend yesterday, and we were watching the lore masters in the background, and the Abaddon one is actually pretty solid. It explains a lot of the new lore. I also like how it it's still so a lot of there's a lot of nuances in the lore and even big nuances, which is kind of contradictory, but kind of big reveals that are only in the novels that don't get talked upon in the codexes. And lore masters kind of hints at that, or sorry, follows that. And by that I mean, so for example, the Alpha Legion being loyal, right? So the whole Alpha Legion being loyalist thing, that's only in the novels. That's not mentioned in any codexes or anything. And from when I watched the Abaddon video, they talk about how the Black Legion is the evolution of the Sons of Horus, which it's what the Codex says, right? But that's not the actual nuance of the lore. So the actual lore, you've read Talmud of Horus before, listeners who haven't. The Black Legion was formed from the all the Traitor Marines or the Chaos Space Marines that abandoned their Primarchs, who are now Demon Primarchs, and they're just kind of like chilling in the Eye of Terror. So they abandon their Primarch and choose to go fight the Imperium. So that's where the Black Legion is formed from. They're not just the Sons of Horus. Actually, the founding members of the Black Legion were, besides Abaddon and his Sons of Horus, were the Thousand Sons, World Eaters, and Emperor's Children. They had war bands that formed together to become the Black Legion. So that's the actual, actually the actual lore, right? But that's a nuance you only see in the novels. That's not really in the codex, and in turn, it's not really mentioned. It's not mentioned at all in Lore Masters, which I think is kind of cool because it kind of hammers the fact that the codexes are mostly like written from the Imperial point of view, and to the Imperium, the Black Legion is evolved from the Sons of Horus. Well, again, in reality, it's kind of an alliance of all these random Chaos Marines who decided to again fight the Imperium as opposed to just chill with their demon primarchs. Um, so I think that's a neat kind of consistency which they have. And I do wonder with this Gazgul thing if they're gonna include the new Gazgul stuff, the awesome Gazgul stuff in the new Gaz novel, which I cannot wait to actually read. I just read summaries of it. So I do wonder how much of that they'll implement in there because there's some new stuff in there that we haven't really heard about Gazgul.
Right.
Like 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 how Gazgul like has a moment of depression, and that's what makes Gazgul special because he can feel sad just by being an orc, and but by feeling sad, he is able to appreciate ambition and victory as opposed to orcs who are just kind of content with fighting. Um, so I wonder, yeah. So overall, like I like it, and I like that they keep that nuance in there. for the people who read the books are getting able to get more of that nuance in the lore. So
How
overall, it's pretty good. What's up?
how long was the video?
It was like 20 minutes. It wasn't that long.
Hmm.
It was
Okay.
good though. It was pretty quality 20 minutes. And they use official art. The narrator is pretty good. I watched one on tech lists, and that was kind of cool because like more than half of it was new lore that I have no idea what Teclis is up to after End Times. So it was kind of cool to see what he did, during the Age of Sigmar, besides messing up with the Deepkin and all that. So I think that was kind of cool. Overall, like I think Lore Masters is pretty solid. Um, Battle reports, I haven't watched them all. I mean, I'm personally not a fan of battle reports anyway. I'm really picky about my battle reports.
Right.
Um, but I thought something I actually really liked about they had a battle report which was Orcs versus Blood Angels, and the Orc player, she had a lot of converted AOS Orcs. Like her weird boy was just an AOS Orc shaman, like Savage Orc shaman. I thought that was kind of cool because that's an official source that has a converted count as from the other game used in 40K. So I thought that was kind of neat that they had that. But the quality is pretty high. I mean, you don't watch it for tactical analysis. It's just I can imagine the battle reports are something you would play in the background of like a game store because the production value is really high. But
Hmm.
if you're a competitive player looking for tactics, it's not that good in that sense. But it
I
is very
figure
well done.
they don't
Yeah,
really cater too much to the quote competitive unquote.
right,
That's not what they want.
right.
Okay. Well, so far you're saying it's still worth it.
I think if here's the thing, if you want the free quote unquote free model, if you want that model, it's 100% worth it. Because if you buy that model, then you're paying like $2 a month for the subscription. You're paying like $2 a month for the content. Plus you get access to the 40K app and the AOS app, which I admit they're not perfect, they're kind of bad, but access to that for like a dollar a month, I think the 40K app is worth it for $1 a month, like easily.
Okay.
Um, so but if you don't like the model, then it's a way harder sell right now. If you don't want the Vindicare or the Orc, then I don't know if it'll be worth it for you.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth it for me, so that's
With the
why I
con
haven't bought into it.
Yeah, with the content that's out right now, I don't think it's worth it if you don't want those free models.
All right then. Black Library. We're finally getting this long-awaited ruin book.
Yeah, this is on the same guy who did, excuse me, the Gazgul book I was talking about earlier, so it should be pretty solid.
I'll probably pick it up. I've got my
Yeah,
Amazon tokens.
there you go.
Gotta finish the other one though. I'm blanking on the name. The
Oh,
Beckwin novel.
oh, gotcha. With the
Book
crazy reveal at the end.
book two. I don't remember which one it was.
You got it. Yeah, I'm waiting for Warhawk and Siege of Terra. It should be out this Saturday. That's gonna be awesome. I actually finished my Garo audiobook yesterday in preparation, just so like I can get it done.
Yeah. Just haven't bothered yet. We got Silent Hunters. It's like some kind of chaplain in good old
Palmera.
Kamara.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's always interesting to see Kamara stories because that's something that's not really explored in the novels. I mean, I'm not gonna get it because I'm very picky about my books, but like the premise is interesting.
Who is this chaplain from?
Carcharodon, so the space sharks.
Oh,
Tiberos the Red Wake. Those dudes. It's a cool Forge World chapter. I'll admit.
all right. So nothing I need to be. Nothing that's a must buy. Got it. Got it. And we got the Hell Winter Gate, which I'm not too
Baseball.
familiar with. Got a bunch of Horse Heresy books.
Yeah, these are like reprint to in hardback. I don't know. I mean, I I have no hardback Horus Heresy novels. I hate hardback novels. Period.
I like hardback novels, but yeah, I still got like 20. No, that's too much. I got like 13 paperback books that I still haven't read. So other than that, okay. So that's that. That is what is this for this week's pre-order.
Yes, yes.
So the only thing I'm really looking forward to is actually a book this time, which is that
Mm,
the Dead King, the twice Dead
yeah.
King,
I'm actually looking forward to that Gazgul video.
just because.
But in terms of items, I mean, unless one of our 30K group is like, oh my gosh, let's play some like 30K Aeronautica guys, not really getting anything.
Well, it's funny you mentioned 30k because that's next on our list.
Oh yeah.
This Destroyer Squads.
How random.
Uh, yeah, you're the 30k guy here. What's your opinion on this?
So it's one of those things where like, yeah, like it's a bone to toss to the 30K community. Hey, like, look, we're doing stuff. I mean, Destroyer, it's kind of funny because it's not a new unit. It's essentially a unit that was out of print for like years, and they're like, we're bringing it back, guys, yay. It's like, okay, cool. I have the squad actually. I have the one with the jump packs.
Oh, okay.
But essentially, this unit is their job is to just destroy things and leave. Because in the Great Crusade, the objective was conquest, right? The Imperium's trying to conquer a world, so they don't want to just burn everything down. They want to keep infrastructure and all that. But these guys were sent, if the enemy was deemed too irredeemable or too nasty to live. So they would have like rad weapons, um, lots of like not volkite, phosphex, which is like super napalm. um so they're there to like eliminate and leave nothing survive, and they've not leave nothing alive. And they're kind of looked down upon by the rest of the Legion because they're kind of they're quoted as like being a relic of old night, so like they're from the dark age before the emperor reunites humanity kind of thing.
I mean, I'd
um
look down on them going in with only dual bolt pistols. I mean, how are
I
they
know,
going to
right?
destroy anything with that?
It's the rad grenades, man. That's how they destroy things. Um, but interesting thing about the article mentions that they're going to release rules for Legion specific destroyer units, which is I think it's cool. You already have some of those, like Blood Angels have their specific unit. I mean, Dark Angels have an entire wing that's just destroyers, the Dreadwing. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, again, like it's not really anything crazy to me, but it is something nice to hear that they're doing something, and releasing more 30K stuff, hopefully in preparation for the new edition. So I'm glad, this makes me smile. Doesn't make me giggle inside or laugh in happiness, but it does make me smile a bit, like, okay, cool, new 30K stuff.
Now, well, I guess they won't, right? I was gonna say, you think these are gonna be a new scale, but they kind of look like they're still an old
No,
scale.
it's a re-release of old models. These already exist. These models have been sold before. They're just, they were out of print for a long time, and now they're coming back.
Mm-hmm. Well, with them being redistributed, I would think they would try to go for the new model scale, but I guess not. I guess that'll be a
Um,
2022 issue.
this is for what we're talking about. Come on.
True. True. Very true. Well, in other uh games systems, seems we got a lot of indie games this week. New or last week, I should say. We got Adeptus Titanicus, Trader Legios,
Yes, my book.
your
I'm
book.
picking this up day one because I need this to play the game. So I play Trader Lee Joe.
Yeah. Well, here we are. So educate me here. Trader Legions, were they not in the game or what?
So they released a compilation book with the rules for all the loyalist legios. Because there's a ton of them. Like unlike the Space Marines where there's only 9 on each side, there's like dozens and upon dozens of legios on each side of the heresy. So yeah, this is just a compilation, probably with updates of rules for the Trader Legions. Let's see. Yeah, there's 16 Titan Legions, 12 Trader Knight households, and 19 maniples, which are formations. Um, for the Trader house, the servants of the War Master.
Mm.
So I think that's kind of cool. Also, interest of note, they're gonna introduce some rules for possessed titans, which in novels like Titan Death and Siege of Terra, we do see some Chaos Titans. So it's cool now that there's rules for it. I'm sure like a lot of the community will
Will
have some cool
rage.
versions up. Yeah, for possessed titans and all that. So it's neat. I'm excited to read it. And if anything, I need this to play, so definitely picking it up.
How well, I guess you would only be playing with your friends, right? So I was gonna say how's this community looking?
I mean, I've never played with someone I didn't already know, so I'm not even sure. I mean, AT for me, while it is my favorite game system, I primarily got it as like a hobby project to paint some titans.
Mm.
But the game itself is in my opinion one of the best in terms of like of conveying what it's trying to do. Which is Titan, like massive Titan on Titan fights. I think it does that really, really well. Um, so again, more releases for this book, always a good, or sorry, with this game, always a good thing.
Of course. Um, just to keep in line, let's go over to the next game system, which is Necromunda.
Necromunda.
We're getting more Vansar
Yeah,
weird things.
Ansar, dude.
With his cyber arachnids. I'm not gonna lie, I like this. I usually poop over the Vansars and their designs, but I kind of like the arachnids. I don't
Yeah,
know
I think
why.
I think because it's weird enough that it doesn't seem like it would fit in a 40K, but it's also evokes that kind of creepiness of Necromunda. I do wonder if it's resin or plastic. I hope it's plastic, but
It's Forge
it.
World, so we
Yeah,
always hope it's plastic. We never want any resin.
of course. It's kind of funny because like the guy has a dual last cannon, which is kind of insane. That this gang of murder hobos has a weapon that even Space Marines don't have on their infantry. So I think that's kind of funny.
You know what they say, crime pays. So
That's true. That is very true.
I'm sure they
Breaking the law.
I'm sure they gave the Mechanicus, plenty of money versus some of this technology.
Pay the Mechanicus for twin link last cannon
And,
handheld.
and probably let them design their little mechanical spiders here.
True. 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 True.
Yeah, it's so weird. But I actually like this. Just the spiders. The guys, whatever. The spiders I like. I kind of want to pick it up.
Hey, if it's plastic, might as well, right?
True. Why not?
Why not?
On to the specialized news here. GW reaching their millionth online customer service survey. So they're giving us a mini for it. Uh, you know, huge air quotes on that, giving us a free mini. First, I want to get your thoughts on this. What do you think of this miniature?
Um, Preface: I got 3 of this guy over the weekend. Just saying. um,
All right, I'll have to figure out that later, but yeah,
but I think it's neat. It's kind of weird that it's a sergeant. Like memes aside, this would be a really cool lieutenant. I'll probably use mine as lieutenant. I'll probably convert it, like give him a power sword or something. I don't know if lieutenants can get plasma pistols. I think they can, but um, I think he is neat. Like this. I think like as boring as the guy himself is, I think that the base, with the Necrons, like this is a cool. This is what I think of, and I think like event miniature. Because it's kind of a mini diorama, right? This isn't really something that fits well in an army. It's kind of awkward that you have your lines of troops, then you have Sergeant Cassis over here being attacked by Necrons. So I think it's neat. It is definitely worth the price you pay for him, which is $0. But yeah, I mean, I have no for what he is, I have no complaints. Now, if you're gonna buy, if that's worth it for most people, but again, like as a celebration mini, this is what I think of like, again, like you're not really missing out if you miss him, unlike some other models like Holga Cloven Horn or the Necron Lord, or Holga being the female Chaos Warrior. Like this is a model you could build from the kit, which is an Intercessor Sergeant with a Plasma Pistol Chainsword. But with the twist of the Necrons, I think again this is a good example, in my opinion, of a celebration miniature.
Well, I agree with you that the base looks nice. I don't know. I think I'd if I had him, I think I'd run him. I don't care. It'll just be like the ghost of his past. He's still fighting Necrons, even though
Oh,
he's fighting Tyranids or whatever.
oh yeah, I totally run
It's,
him too.
it's the PTSD. It's like the what is it? The Blood Rage?
Oh
No,
yeah, the Black Rage.
Black Rage. There you go.
Yeah. No, this is neat. This is something I would like paint and put on my work desk and then run him in the game or something. Because it's a cool Warhammer 40,000 mini. Again, and also for the price you pay, which is $0, pretty worth it.
Well, we could talk about that. You say it's $0, but you do have to spend a lot of money to get him.
Right, right. Now spending the money to get it was a different question, but
Uh,
as like a neat boat, like I got him 3 times because I just happened to spend that much money. I was doing a huge order for like a terrain project my friends and I are gonna work with. I got some orc stuff and some 30K stuff. So like, I might as well split my order into three. So I get three of this guy, you know. Um,
Now, is he $250?
yes, if you spend 250, you get him.
Yeah. Now, wow, damn. So you spent $750.
Yeah.
Jesus
Um,
Christ.
yeah,
Yeah, I couldn't justify getting this. Spending $250 just to get this model, though. I
right.
mean, I can if this deadline extended till end of November. I could definitely do that.
Black Templars, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but in the meantime, I can't justify getting that
right. Um,
because I really don't need anything else. My miniatures of shame are it's a big enough pile.
right. Now again, like I didn't specifically spend the money to get him. I just happened to be spending that money, and I was like, you know what? Might as well pick him up because he's free. Like I didn't even need to click anything. It just automatically added to my cart when I made my orders.
Yeah, well, I heard some interesting stuff about him too. So, in terms of uh policies for returning him, you know, you can't buy something and then return it just to get the model. You'd have to return the model as well in order to get a full refund on your purchase.
Gotcha. That makes sense. I think. I mean, it sucks for both sides. Like, it sucks for the customer because that's kind of scummy, but it would also suck for GW if people would just return stuff and get a free model, right?
Right.
Um,
I understand that. That makes perfect sense, but
yeah,
it's just funny that that's how it's going to be operating.
right. Um, so I don't know if they showed the sprue here, but I think they showed it on Facebook. But his shoulder pads and his head are separate, so thank goodness I could put a Death Watch shoulder pad on him or something.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, no, they don't show the sprue on this page,
yeah. But his shoulder pads are separate, which I think is neat. So that we can customize it with different chapters.
but it's
Um,
all wear and tear. There, you got bullet holes. I mean, come on.
I think that's cool. Oh, you mean the shoulder? Yeah, that's true. Nothing a drill bit can't fix.
True. But yeah, that is the free model, quote unquote.
Really quick. The
Yep.
Necron on his base is the only Necron we have with the mouth open, and like we didn't know Necrons could do that, so that's kind of cool and kind of creepy that Necrons could open their mouth.
Ah, I never realized that.
right? Like we've never. I don't know if you've never seen one. I've never seen a Necron model that can open its mouth. So confirmation, Necrons can literally eat you. Played ones, you know.
I feel like I've seen it before, but I'll have to look.
Yeah, I mean, I played Necrons for 3 months, so I wouldn't really know.
Not
But
not not in the model. It's probably like some
oh, and
digital
the lore,
media,
got it,
like a video game or something. I'll have to look.
got it.
But yeah, so spend $250 USD, and then you get a free model with your order.
Oh, actually, it's actually 240 now that I remember. 240.
Is it 240? Okay.
I got two kill rigs, which are 120, I think.
Hmm. Oh,
But
so
yeah,
you went with the kill rigs, huh?
yeah, they're too fun, and I realized that so there's the kill rig and the hunter rig, and the hunter rig is just a kill rig without a wizard. Sorry, so the kill rig is just a hunter rig with a wizard on it. So I realized, oh, I could like build your other one as a hunter rig and then stick the wizard somewhere else, and it'll be the same thing. So like kind of like, oh, then I can have two and not have them look too similar.
Hmm.
I mean, I'll talk to them more about hobby rants, but the kill rig is an example of rules winning over the crappy design for me.
All right then. Well, with our other new model Monday, we got the angry boy himself, Grimaldus Primaris. And here he is. Not gonna lie, I don't really like it.
Um, I'm too biased. Like this model could have been the most generic looking chaplain, but because it's Grimaldus, I think it's awesome. I'm too hyped from the novel because this is just it's Merrick Grimaldus, man. It's like I'm just too biased at this point.
I
Like
mean,
he could be just a generic chaplain, and like it doesn't matter. It's Grimaldus. He's cool to me.
I'll give it this. It is way better than his resin.
Yes,
There's
yes.
there's no doubt.
Okay. What don't you like about it before I start like simping over this model? When you're done.
I don't know. I kind of just expected a little bit more. Other than that, I'm gonna pick it up. So,
Right.
because
I will
I
I
hate
will
I hate the Grimaldus that I have.
I will say though, like if you compare this guy to the old one, and you compare like Helbrecht, if you compare like Calgar, Shrike especially, like this guy is virtually unchanged in terms of design. Like his robes, I mean the paint scheme, like you could probably I've seen side by sides of him in the old model. Like the paint scheme aside, like the robe placement, the purity seal placement, they're pretty much the same. I think a big difference is the sword on his back isn't there. But the rest of the model, like most of like his helmet is exactly the same. A lot of people saying like, oh, the why does it not have a skull helm? It's like actually that's his skull helm. In fact, Aaron Dembski Bowden, who wrote Hell's Reach, says like, yeah, this helmet is accurate to what Grimaldus would look like.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
so I do get that he does look very similar to his old model in terms of design. And I get why that would not be as cool to a lot of people. Again, if you look at something like Shrike or even Hellbrecht, where the design is just way better compared to the old model. Yeah, I get that.
No, I mean this model's. I'm not saying this model's bad. It is 10 times better than its Finecast '90s model.
Yeah,
I thought they'd do a little bit more.
right.
So
Totally get that. This because of this announcement today, I have decided to repaint my Dark Angels into Black Templars. My 30,
damn, what a
or no,
traitor.
my
But
40K.
welcome to the fold.
I was like, wait a second, I just have to paint the shoulder pads white because they kind of have because they have my Dark Angels have black armor and they have red guns and chain swords. I'm like, wait, I just have to repaint the blank shoulder pads, and all the sculpted shoulder pads I have are resin from Forge World, so I'll just put them in the freezer and snap the super glue off, and I'm good to go. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm gonna be playing Black Templars. It's
Sounds sick.
Grimaldus, man. This like side note, the sword in his backpack, I hope that's the sword of the Emperor's champion that dies in Hell's Reach. Because that would be sick. Or like a sculpture or something of the sword. I don't know. Because oh man, this is such a cool model. Because it's Grimaldus. I'm not even talking about the design besides that, like it's freaking Merrick Grimaldus. He is, Mr. I will die on this world has a model in plastic.
That's why
And
that's why the BTs are the best.
Yes, because
They
they
got the
have the
best
best,
characters.
yeah, they do have the best characters.
And
I
then we
mean,
got a
Dante's cool, but he doesn't get any cool monologues like this guy.
and then we got the Cenobite
There's,
servitors.
these are neat. I mean,
They almost look exactly like the old ones. I mean,
oh,
you got the same one holding up the relic. I would have to pull up the old ones because I don't remember exactly what they look like, but
side note, I'm gonna drool over this ball even more. His pose. So his pose is very similar to the Emperor's Champion.
yep.
But that aside, I actually really like that pose because
Well, that
you
just
know
seems like to be the generic
it is a
chaplain
generic. It
pose.
is, yeah. Um, and I like that they went with that instead of a fighting pose because a big part of Hell's Reach, the novel, is Grimaldus realizing that to be a really good or to that he how do I say this? Like a big part of that is his internal struggle to understand that to be a good like champion of the Black Templars, he can't just be a murder machine. He has to be inspiring. Because so TLDR, so Grimaldus, as he's trained to be a chaplain, he's a very inspirational like orator. Like he's someone like the others look up to. But when he becomes the Reclusiarch, which is the head chaplain, his predecessor was known for being a murder machine. So he kind of thinks like, oh, maybe I should be a murder machine to be, the to fill in this new role. And he realizes that doesn't really work, and it's him struggling between being an inspirational focal point and a murder machine. And at the end, he realizes that he should stick to his ideals and be a point of inspiration for his men and the defenders of Hell's Reach. And I like that pose reflects that he's like look at me, I'm gonna lead you to victory kind of guy, not like like sword brethren who are just there's that guy from the launch box that is about to murder some heretics. Like I like that his pose isn't that. It's a very inspirational high and mighty kind of pose which fits his character. So
Must have
but
been
yes.
inspired by Caiaphas Cain.
Yes. Yeah, except he actually kills stuff unlike Caiaphas King. I mean Caiaphas King kills stuff but not in the way American Aldous does.
And
But it's
now,
okay. Caiaphas Kane's cool. He needs a plastic model.
I mean, Caiaphas Cain is inspiring, so
Absolutely.
just like Grimaldus. But yeah, that is all the Warhammer news that we got.
Yep.
We got some good old Star Wars news, some Star Wars Legions. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna go in the order of the pictures that you sent in. So, infantry support platform. This is
Yes.
clones,
Yeah.
right?
This is the new clone vehicle. Um. So interestingly, it's a heavy choice, I believe. Yep. It is a heavy
It's
choice.
heavy,
So
yes.
yeah, it's a heavy support, which means you can only take two of it. In your army, and it takes the slot of the tank. Um. I'm gonna add another picture here that I forgot really quick. Anyways. So interestingly, like it's pretty cheap. It's 65 points, but it barely does any damage. It just has two black dice, which is the equivalent of just having two clone troopers. But it does get surge to hit and surge defense, which helps for having because it has a white save. So essentially this thing is a 5-up save with 7 health, but it has armor 3, so you need crits to kind of hurt it. However, if you go to the next picture, you can give it some hard points, so you can get beam cannons or blaster cannons, which I think is pretty neat. And there's also missile launchers it could have that we don't have a picture of, but so for 40 points, it gets significantly more firepower. I think this is a good glass cannon for clones. The other the saber tank, which is the tank the clones already have, way tankier, does good damage, but is way more expensive. It's about 70 points more expensive, which is another infantry squad, for
Hmm.
comparison. So this is something cool if you just want like a vehicle that just shoots things.
Is this the one that we called the swamp, the
Yes,
swamp
this is
thing?
the speeder, absolutely.
Yeah, I was really disappointed. I was so happy, and then you
You want
told
to
me it
be
was
Empire.
clones. I would have gotten it
Oh,
just for the
oh
meme.
man, just for the meme. It seems pretty good. Well, actually, it seems good on paper, but the problem is it's not a clone trooper, and clones have a special rule that on essentially clones can share the tokens or the buffs from clones near them. So essentially, think of it how that this guy gets the clones get chapter rules, but this guy doesn't. As comparison for 40k. So while other factions are like, oh my gosh, this thing's so powerful, clone players are like, is that really a clone trooper? So I don't know if we're gonna take him or not. So it's just interesting how the balance works there. But
Is
I
it
mean, it's cool. I don't think I'll be picking one up, but
so it's not getting benefits because it's basically kind of like a vehicle.
exactly, yeah. And the clones only buff each other, only buff infantry, not vehicles. So that's the main reason why clone players aren't too gung ho about it. I mean, it's a new model, and people have been talking about running it. But in like if this thing could share tokens, it would be OP. But it doesn't, and the fact that it doesn't, then you're if you take this guy, then you're not taking what two infantry squads or one or two infantry squads that could share tokens. So I
Uh,
think it's pretty neatly balanced that way.
I think it's still good. I mean, it's movement. It's move 3, so it's
Yeah, it's pretty fast.
fast and it can. I mean, depending on your loadout, it can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think it's solid. I don't think it's trash, but I don't think it's as OP as some people think it is. It's definitely a solid choice. And I don't think if your list, if your list isn't a mishmash and you take into account that you're bringing a vehicle, I think it could be a good addition to lots of clone lists. You could always skew and bring like two of these and like three ATRTs and just have like armor for days. But I don't know. I think droids do that better.
Well, speaking of droids,
Speaking of droids, we got snail tank.
yeah, the the little roller.
Yeah.
If only Will
So
was
this
here.
I know, right? Because this would be his thing. So this thing's interesting because it is a transport. So it can transport one unit, and people are talking about transporting like, excuse me, like the super battle droids, since super battle droids are pretty short range. They only have range 2 on their guns. Or like Magna Guard, so you could just smash people in the face with it. Um, it
Is
has
this a
a
good transport? I mean, it's only movement 1.
it is speed 1, but because of how movement works in Legion, you know how like it's front to back when you move, right?
Right.
This thing has the giant like oval base. I don't think you've seen it yet because it's a new thing. It's like a giant oval base. Think of like a knight base almost. So actually I think it's bigger than a knight base. And it goes long ways. So a speed 1 move is actually pretty far when it comes to moving this guy. Um, it's not very pricey. It's 145. I mean, you need to give it an AI. It says program, so you must equip an AI upgrade card, but AI costs like 5 points. So effectively it's a 150 point unit with no upgrades.
Hmm.
Um, I I mean, I play build droids. I don't see this in my list because I don't really think droids need a transport for B2s. Um, in terms of as a gun platform, I think it's pretty solid. It has two black, two white, one red. Arsenal 2, so you give it like high energy shells or something, which is like a missile upgrade. So you could do some cool range 4 firepower. Um, It has 11 health, which is a lot. I mean, yeah, it has white save, so it has a 5 up with charge defense, but again, it has 11 health. That's a lot.
Well, just put that bad boy on the battlefield and have your characters hide behind it, right?
That's true. That could be a thing. That's actually the new Rebel truck, the Winnebago. It does that. You just use it to hide Luke Skywalker inside or behind it, and then he pops up and murders people. So
Yeah,
yeah,
isn't
I
Darth
think
Vader part of this army?
no,
I
this
mean,
is for
not
droid.
Darth Maul.
Yes, yeah, actually, Darth Maul could ride inside this, which is pretty funny. Um, But or you could have B2s and Darth Maul right behind it, blocking line of sight for Darth Maul, and he pops up and murders people. So I think it's another like the Swamp Spirit. This is a solid choice. I think I could see some play just having it as a gun platform, especially if you run like an armor skew. When we see the Spider Droid, we could really talk about armor skewing, but it's cheap. Like with the high energy shells and AI, you're looking at like what 160, 175 points, depending on which loadout you give it. So it's not that pricey compared to the big tank. Um So I think this is cool. It's a cool design too. I've always thought the Sniffle Droid was kind of cool for episode 3. So
Hmm.
um, definitely not terrible, not OP, but solid choice.
Okay, well here we are, the spider droid.
And the spider droid. So this thing is pretty neat. So it has the self-destruct rule. So self-destruct. It's a universal special rule in the FAQ. So it's not listed here, but essentially, if it blows up, it does a 3 red dice thing where it's in the lower right has a self-destruct weapon. So it does that to people nearby. I think it's like a range 1. It does 3 red dice each, which is pretty powerful. Has armor 3, so it can soak up a bunch of hits. Must need it needs an AI upgrade card, so 60 point minimum. It doesn't come with a gun. You got to buy the gun separately, and I think in the next picture I posted some examples of guns you could give it. So you can have a flamethrower, an ion blaster, or just a laser cannon. The flamethrower is cool if you want to just play the self-destruct game and just kind of run him forward. I mean, he has speed 2, so it's pretty fast for a vehicle. And then have him flame something and then blow up, right?
Right.
Um,
That's
the
probably
ion,
what I would do.
right? Of course. You got the ion blaster, which it's pretty. So it's like a dice pool, 3 black, 3 white, um, with range 4, but it is an exhaust, so you need to recover to use it, or if you don't, it has a cycle rule. So if you don't, if you use it and you don't use it next turn, it refreshes it untaps for free. I'm debating between that and the laser cannon. I mean, the laser cannon has a way better dice pool with three black, 1 white, 1 red, but it is only range 3,
Hmm.
and the extra 6 inches might matter a lot. I'm still debating. I mean, luckily,
No, there's
Legion is
no debate, John. Just
a flamethrower.
flamethrower, run up, and self destruct.
Maybe that's the maybe I'm thinking too much, and maybe that's the play to go. Um, because I'm theory crafting a list of just 3 of these guys and either 2 tanks or 2 snail tanks. Um,
What
so
is
I don't know yet.
this? Oh, this is an
What's up?
elite.
It's a fast attack.
Fast attack.
Yeah, so you can get 3 of this and then 2 of the heavies. So yeah, I don't know. The flamethrower seems pretty spicy, literally. 15
I
points.
think so. I mean, go against high mobs, roast some people, be
That's just
fine.
like double move turn 1. And if you have 3 of them, that's true. It is a threat. Because if you have 3 of them, that's 6 health, armor, 3 droids you gotta like deal with. Otherwise, it'll blow up in your face or and flame you. And if you flame something, that's probably a squad that gets deleted.
Probably.
Um, and then self-destruct, you're doing a bunch of damage. Oh, maybe I will just do that. Maybe I'll just walk forward and then burn people. Seems fun.
Just gotta test it out.
That's true. And there's some AI. So if you can see on the laser cannon picture, there's the attack protocol. So it's an example of the AI you can give it.
Hmm.
So this one gives it AI aim. So unless you have an order token, you gotta aim as your first action. But as a benefit, you get to reroll 2 additional dice when you aim. So you're looking at rerolling 4 dice when you aim. And I think there's another one that gives you outmaneuver, so you can spend dodge tokens to cancel crits. So you just walk up, dodge, and then next turn walk up flamethrower or something. um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should revisit that. Maybe got me thinking, Matt. Triple flamethrower, and you have the tanks in the background just blasting things, and you got these spider droids just walking up, exploding.
And
Because it got to
man,
do with it. It's gonna be a fire magnet because it has to be.
you're talking to a
Actually,
guy who runs a bunch of snow troopers with flamethrowers. I mean, of course I'm gonna say go with the flamethrower.
true. Oh man. But yeah, with these 2 releases, I could really see droid armor skew being a thing. I mean, clones can armor skew, but clone troops are expensive, so your core tax is pretty pricey. But with droids, you just take 3 squads of B1s and then get 2 vehicles in your heavy slot and 3 spider droids. I might really consider running once tournaments get back up, I might consider just running a droid armor skew.
Hmm.
So we will see.
All right, and you got one more picture here for us to look at. Burst of speed.
Burst of speed. So speaking of like OP, not OP, this card makes Jedi incredibly powerful. So what this card does, it's once per game. However, for that turn, your Jedi has speed 3. And after that, you get the unimmobilized token, which means you get -1 move, which doesn't matter because you're speed 3. So Vader can get this card. This makes Vader and Palpatine super powerful. Because Vader and Palpatine's main weakness is they're freaking slow.
Yeah.
This fixes that, because it's burst of speed, right?
Mm.
These guys get speed 3 for a turn. Especially if you play Vader and you play that card where it gets to activate twice. Because it keeps the speed 3 for not for just activation, but for his whole turn. So you can have Vader, double move speed 3. That's really long, melee unit to death, and then he activates again. Force pushes whatever he's fighting away if they're not dead yet, and then speed 3ing into another unit and then smashing it with his lightsaber. So this card, I bring this up because this card comes out with Yoda, which is he got delayed, so I think it's gonna be out next month, or next month in November. But it really changes the game in terms of for Jedi, because it makes, again, Jedi's main weakness is getting, like most close combat units in war games, is getting into melee, and this makes it shockingly easy with speed 3 to get into melee. So unclear yet how this is going to affect the meta, because again, it's unreleased. I mean, in TTS, we might, with the new season of TTS, upon us, the TTS tournament for Legion, we could see the effects of this card in the meta. But who knows if this is going to make Jedi like overwhelming on tabletop. I mean, I'm not mad, to be honest. Like, I think Jedi should murder things anyway because they're Jedi. So we'll see. It is pretty powerful. I'm already planning some Anakin lists with this guy. I'm sure, like, as an Empire player, you would love that on Vader or Palpatine or something.
I would just need them, but you deterred me away from them because you're like, yeah, they're very slow. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh well, I can't run that down.
yeah. This fixes the slowness because now you're having speed 3 Vader for a whole turn. It's ridiculous.
I'd want to do it on Palpatine, but
Oh, dude, yeah, speed 3 Palpatine and drop his command card, lets him attack as many times as he has health. The Palpatine nuke.
there you go.
Actually, that's a thing, like, because Palpatine bomb was a thing, and the only piece of the puzzle you need to fix is how to get him there. And with this card, you just can pop it, move twice, and then unleash your bomb.
I look
Kill some.
forward to it.
Yeah,
You just have to wait for Yoda to come out then.
yeah, for the card, or you can proxy it, if you're playing with friends.
True.
But yeah, like in terms of tournaments, once Yoda comes out, this is gonna be a game changer for Jedi for sure.
So all in all, good stuff coming, huh? For
Good
Star
stuff
Wars.
um yeah, good stuff coming more, and even the stuff we saw earlier, like, it opens up some list changes for clones and droids, because with the swamp speeder, we could really see some clone armor skews. Before, again, it was harder to do because the tank is so expensive, plus your core tax is so expensive, so it's hard to fit 2 tanks and 3 ATRTs. But now we could see, 2 swamp speeders, 3 ATRTs in clone lists. Same for droids, easily could squeeze in 2 tanks and 3 spider droids
Mm-hmm.
in a list. So, or even just have like 3 spider droids in your regular droid list, and having that moving castle, or just like taking time bombs of flamethrower self-destruct spider droids in addition to your droid blob. So I think it's cool. It'd be cool to see some more armors in the meta.
Yeah. Well, from what I played, and again, me and my friends are still new. It's just infantry spam, so not too many vehicles out there that I see.
Yeah.
But we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. It's just hard to fit what you want at 800 points.
Right.
Because I would love to field a lot of uh, ATATs, or no,
ATST.
SCS. Yeah, thank you. On the field, but that's expensive for what it does.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how Empire double. I mean, some people still run double ATSTs, but it's definitely not as ATSTs just need like red saves. I mean, the fact that they have white saves kind of sucks. makes them way less tanky than they should be. But
You mean you just need crits to hurt them, but yeah, I agree. Save is
right,
kind of trash too.
save is trash. That's because they will like what? It sets a 6-up save, or I don't know if they have surge defense, which makes it a 5-up. But you
No,
know,
they don't have surge.
yeah, so it's just a 6-up save.
Yeah, well, I think that's a good place to call it for the news section. We can go into hobby rants.
All right.
I'll start off, I guess. Hobby wise, I just been painting a bunch of stuff for Shadows of Brimstone because I think
Nice.
I'm gonna get my crew back into that game. We're gonna probably play like once a month kind of deal.
It's
Just
0 times a month.
sorry.
That's more than 0 times a month.
That's true. So I did a little painting stream yesterday, painting up some yokai lanterns.
Nice.
Uh, didn't play because someone became busy and then all hell broke loose in scheduling and we just said we're not gonna game. So that was unfortunate. Um, ranting wise, have you heard about this alleged NDA that's been circling around?
No, what's going on?
Apparently on Reddit, they have a copy of a GW NDA.
Oh, yeah, you can't talk smack about them or something, right?
There's a lot of stuff in there, from what I gathered from all my media sources. So
Mhm.
yeah, we got like they'll give you something, they'll give you a product, and then you gotta talk about it, obviously, and then you have to get their approval for it if you want to post that video. So basically, they own your content,
Right,
and then only after if that product is out officially, then you could make another video and talk about it and give your real feelings. But then that'll just out you out as a GW shill. So
right.
and then there's some other stuff in there like how if they accumulate damages or something like that, you'll be paying for all the legal fees, and it'll be taking place in Britain, the UK. So, I see our chances of getting stuff from GW very low now, just because of how much smack we talk about it. So, there
Which
goes
is
our free money right there. So,
that's okay.
I guess we'll have to find other ways to get free money.
Um,
But yeah, that's
yeah, that is
about
interesting.
it.
Interesting.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to give us a free GW stuff, hit me up. I'll be happy to take some free stuff because GW isn't gonna give it to me.
There you go. Fair and balanced reviews.
You'll get our honest reviews. No shilling here. Even though we mainly talk about GW, we give our
Right.
honest opinions about what we think. What about you? What have you been up to?
So did a kill team game yesterday with my buddy. See, I played Orcs versus Grey Knights. It was a very close game. I think I lost by 1 or 2 points. I tried a new secondary deck, which is Infiltrate. So my secondaries were blow up a building in the enemy deployment zone, escape with one model that I assign, or end your turn with the with one of your models in the enemy deployment zone. So I accomplished the everything but the escape off the table one because my designated guy died unfortunately.
So you
Um,
actually played secondaries this time, huh?
yes, I think the secondaries are pretty neat. So how it works with the kill team is you have different mini decks of secondaries, and by deck I mean it's 6 cards. So you pick an archetype. So there's like seek and destroy, infiltrate, security, recon, stuff like that. And the archetype you have access to is dependent on your kill team. So for example, orcs have access to seek and destroy and infiltrate. And let's say someone like Space Marines may only have access to seek and destroy, right? Guardsmen have access to security, for example. So when how you picture your secondaries is you draw 2 at a time and you pick one, and you do that 3 times, so you get 3 secondaries. Um, in your hand, and most secondaries have two scoring conditions. There's the base. There's the initial scoring condition, and there's the second scoring condition, and each one gets you 1 point. So, for example, there's a one of the most fun secondaries is challenge. So you reveal this at the start of the game. You pick one of your models, and you pick one of the enemy models. And if your model kills their designated model, you get a victory point. But if you killed the model within 6 inches of you, you get two victory points. So if you melee him or pistol him in the face, um, there's that. So it's kind of neat. I think it's very flavorful and thematic, and I don't and they're pretty balanced. Like the stuff you get, they're pretty doable. They're not like, murder someone after jumping off a ledge and tagging it's not too crazy. It's pretty doable. So that was pretty fun. Grey Knights are nasty. They have storm bolters, which essentially are bolters that reroll all failed hits. Um, so yeah, I was getting orc shot to pieces by Space Marines every turn, which is fluffy, so I'm not even complaining there.
Did they have access to psychic powers?
Yes, so Kill Team has no psychic phase, you just get psychic actions.
How was that?
It wasn't too crazy. I think the Grey Knight ones are more buff centric. Like there's one, there's the one that ignores cover, there's the one that makes you do more damage in melee.
Oh,
I
so
think
it's
the
not just generic smite.
yeah, there's no generic smite. Like Thousand Suns have more damaging powers. I forgot which one they have, but they have one that does damage. There's like a shooting attack, and that one's pretty cool. But generally, yeah, the Grey Knight ones, they're buffs that they get.
Mhm. Okay.
Um, did some hobbying afterwards. I built 10 Storm Boys. So I just primed those Storm Boys in my Beast Nagas right now. I was like, because I'm about to be done with these 10 orcs. Orc boys. So I'm gonna paint some Beast Nagas.
Mhm.
And yeah, and for like I touched upon earlier, I bought a bunch of Warhammer and got 3 of that chaplain guy. So I got a bunch of terrain for my first order. Because we're just I'm just hogging terrain for just to have terrain to play with, and all of it's gonna live in Donnie's house, which Matt. And just so when we play there, we have terrain we could use. So I got that. I got 2 kill rigs, because the kill rig, I mean, I really don't like the model as I mentioned, but the rules are just so fun. Like it has like 10 different guns, it has like 10 different melee attacks. It's a wizard. And I think what pushed me over the edge was like the fact that it's a character, which means it can get relics and warlord traits. And I think that was kind of neat. Um, and as I mentioned before, the orc stratagems are kind of terrible, not terrible, but they're kind of meh. So we have a lot of people just blowing their CP on extra warlord traits and relics for their characters. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna give this kill rig -1 to wound, and this other kill rig a 5 up feel no pain. So yeah, picked up 2 of those. And the more I look at them all, the more I'm feeling it. It's like, okay, it's not that terrible as far as chariots go.
You're feeling that green skin energy.
I'm feeling the green skin energy. And I don't plan on having orc vehicles anyway, like that, because I'm not a fan of the orc tanks. So I think having the kill rig will be a good substitute for vehicles, because at least it's kind of it's a chariot thing, right? Like you don't get that when you play Space Marines or Guard or Sisters. It's a very unique thing to orc, so I do like, and that kind of helped push me to get it. Got some Assault Marines for 30K. Always need those. I got I got 2 of the Squigosaur bosses. Because that's a cool model with awesome rules, and it just seems super fun. So picked up some of those. And yeah, there you go. Got 3 of the sergeants.
Oh, hey, I'm sure you can sell those off for a pretty penny.
Probably, yeah.
Since that's how limited edition works.
I just turned them all into like painting projects.
Dioramas.
Dioramas.
You got the Necrons.
Yeah, that's true, exactly.
All right then. Well, I guess we could call it there. For everyone who made it to the end, thank you for hanging out, and we'll catch you next time.
Later, everyone.
Till then, goodbye.